Hi everyone, this is Lynn, and you're watching Crazy for Crafting. Our next Christmas gift, I'm sure all of you've made it one time or another, in different forms, is the box to go over your tissues. But we're going to make this one out of chipboard so it lasts forever. So what you're going to need is, if you're using thick chipboard, you're going to need 2 pieces that are 5 1/8 this way and 9 this way. And then you're going to have a seam here, and how you make that seam is you take your regular cutting board, you take a piece of chipboard, and you put it where you want, and you take your blade and you run it lightly, okay? Don't push on it, just run it lightly, and there it gives you a perfect corner. Okay, now we're going to cover these up, but it's easier than trying to paste everything. So that's all you have to do is take a 9" by 5 1/8, mark it in the middle, which is 4 1/2, and put this one little line with your marker. Now this isn't a scoring blade, this is actually the cutting blade, but when you're doing it on really thick hard chipboard like this, and you do it lightly, it just cuts the very first layer enough for you to bend it. So that's what you need to do. Then you'll need another piece. This is for your lid, and this is, let me see, okay, our lid you're going to cut at 6 9/16 square, and then you're going to do the same thing. You're going to put it just like this. You're going to score on all 4 sides at 1 inch. So you just put it in and you run it across the 1 inch mark, and then it breaks it down, and you do that on all 4 sides. So now to put this together, we're going to use hinges. Okay, these are just made out of your cardstock. Now I'm using the craft color, not because this is craft colored, but because I want to use more of a craft color. And then I'm going to use some cream and then some burgundy. Okay, and that's the colors I want mine. But whatever color you want, like if you want yours say pink and purple, then your construction strips here will be either pink or purple, whichever one you want as your accent color. So basically this is my accent color, is this craft color. Now see here, that's a perfect score, but I don't like the edge. So you just take on the color that you want for the accent, and you cut them at 1 1/4 inches wide. Then you'll score them down the center, which is 5/8, and you put some score tape on them. Okay, and these 2 ends put this together to make your box. These 2 are just for looks. Okay, those were for construction. These are just to make it look good. And you just stick these on here. As soon as I find the right size here. There it is. You want these to be 5 1/8. So you just sit that down like that. And then you can take the other piece and make this a square before you put it down. Okay, and then we've got one more side to do. Okay, now I usually just take off one side of the sticky strip or whatever and put this up against there. When I get it exactly where I want it, put it down, okay? Then I come over and peel it off the other side. You want this to be square, so make it square. You can sit it up like this, okay? And make that good and square. So now you've got all four corners the same, but it's only 2 pieces instead of 4. If you have any little extra hanging out over the edge, you just trim that off. Okay, so now what you want to do, since you've got that done basically. Okay, on the lid, it's 6 9/16 in a square. You take and score those lines with your cutter, and then you're going to just cut off these little 1-inch squares on all 4 sides. Like so. Okay. And then fold and fold and fold. Okay. Now we want to put a circle in the center of this, so let's find. Okay, I've already got this made. This is going to be part of the decoration. Go like this, and I'm going to mark this. And just keep. This is a scallop edge that I did this design on. But that's good enough for me to know where I need to cut. And if you have a circle punch or anything you want, you can use that. I'm going to use my craft knife and just go around. Now this doesn't have to be super perfect, simply because it's going to be covered up. But you want to try to get it kind of centered. Okay, go on in there. Okay, sometimes I can use this like a saw. I'll put the real thick end in there once you get around it once, and especially with the new blade, it works pretty good. Okay, there we go. Okay, just take a sanding block and go make sure it's got smooth edges. Do it on the other side. Okay, whoops. There we go. Okay, now let's see if this covers the hole. Yeah, that's gonna be real good. Okay, now we're gonna need the 2-inch hinges. Need 4 of them, 1 for each side, and whatever length your little flaps are, you just double that. Okay, so this is a 1-inch flap on the lid, so then you make these tabs to hold it together, these construction strips, you make them 2 because you want it to go all the way inside. Then you cut out a little V shape. Can you see that little V shape there? And then you press these down like that. And then use your bone folder. Okay, now that's going to hold your one side really, really sturdy. And then you do that all the way around, and I'll be back in a second. Okay, here's the last, we need one more. Okay, making one more of these strips. Remember, 1 1/4 inches wide. Put your sticky strip on here. I use the Miracle tape. It's like score tape. Make sure you've got it scored really good so it bends. And then put on the last piece here. All right. Do the same thing. Put a little V in there. The reason you take that little V out is so that when it gets down in the corner, it won't get all, scrunched up and use extra space, because you make this to want to fit nicely. Now, we'll see. All right. And there you go. Now, you're going to definitely glue this on here, but we're going to decorate it first. Now, since these are our accent pieces, we need to put some more on here. Now, if you want to take this and cover it with the designer series paper, something, that's great. But I'm just going to put these on the sides like that. Okay. Okay, now that we got the lid that fits, we're going to start covering these edges, just like we did here. I'm really sorry I didn't use another color. Okay, these are the strips that go here to hold this together. And since I did mine in craft color, the same as the cards chipboard, you can't really see it, but this would be your sides. It doesn't matter what color the chipboard is, just what color your hinges are to put it together. Okay, so now we're going to go with the bottom, and we've got to put them around all 4 sides. Now I did this one side, see? So you've got 1, 2, 3, and it completely covers everything so you don't see any of the chipboard, and that's what you want. And these are 4.5 inches, just like the sides are. Push it down really good. We got one more. Okay, and now for the 4th side. Put it like that. Now, take your bone folder and give it a good press like that, and then hold it up and go straight across on the flat side. And this will make it crisp and make it sit really nice. Okay, I don't know if you can see that. Okay, now you're going to do the same thing with the lid. I did one, except this one is going to be longer. This one's going to be 4.5 by 2. You're going to score it at 1/2, and then you're going to put your score tape on the 1/2 inch and on the other side, like this, okay? But I've got both of these scored, but you don't have to. You just score one side. Then you start at the top. And make sure that's on good. And then you take the rest of it. That's why you don't need to score it there if you don't want to. And wrap it around. Okay, so now we've got 2 sides. Gonna go. Number 3. And the reason I start on the top and fold in is because you want to make sure that you have a whole 1/2 inch up on the top here for this design piece. Okay, and one more side. Now you can wrap this up like, you know, you do a gift, and okay, there's the last side, and do the same thing. Go around with your bone folder and burnish it, and then on the top you want to do the same thing. You want to get right in there and let that blend in. Can you see that? Okay. I'm not very bright. I should have used a different color that you could have seen. Okay, now, there's nothing else you really have to do to this, except, see, you don't have to do this side because this is getting glued onto this. So, what I'm going to do is, you take 4 pieces that are 4 1/4 by 4. Okay? And then I ran them through one of my embossing folders just to give them a little bit of design. This one kind of looks like alligator. I like that. It's kind of cute. And then you take another one that's 4 1/4 by 4 1/4. That's for the top here. And on this one, I put the piece through, and then I made another square a little bit smaller and took, this is a Martha Stewart punch. It's called Beaded Arcs, and you just center it and hit it on all 4 sides, and it leaves the big sides like that, and I think that's pretty. And then I took and made my circle out of one of my Sizzix dies, and you just make sure whatever size this is, which needs to be about 2.5 or more, that you don't see this around here on the inside. This is cut a little bit, the hole is cut a little bit smaller, and then we're going to start putting these on. Okay, actually this one was 4 by 4, and so it should have been 4 1/4 by 4 1/4, so I put an extra piece of the burgundy on. And you can tape this on here. Okay, I'm just going to glue this one on because I want it to stay for ever and ever, or at least until the person I give it to finds out that they're just sick of the color. They want to change their room. And center it. turn it over and push down, and there's the lid. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take, and for this, because the lid's tight, you can take your sticky strip and put it around the top of your box. Like this. Okay, see, got it all the way around. Or you can just put glue, but if you're going to glue, put the glue on the inside here so it doesn't shove the glue down further. Take that off, and then you start putting your lid on. There we go. And then go around inside with your bone foldable and burnish so that all the sides are sticking. So far this is what it looks like. Okay. Now you can take these, and these go here. Okay. So I'm going to use my ATG gun for this, just because it's quicker. Okay. This is side 2. Let's do side 3. Push down on the last side. Okay, so now it's starting to look a little bit fancier. And then I take and cut these like 4 1/4 also. And only, since this is an inch, I cut these 3/4. And then I took that Beaded Arcs punch by Martha Stewart, and I punched these out, and it will fit on here, and this comes to about 5/8 of an inch by 4 1/4. So I think for the lacy stuff I'm gonna use a glue stick, because I really like to get that staying down permanently, all the little pieces. From the back side I can burnish it. Okay, that's one. There's number 2. This is number 3. And, uh-oh, where'd my number 4 piece go? Oh, there it is. Got it. Okay. Just when you think you've got everything where you need it, you misplace something. Okay. Now, again, I'm going to use this. Now, I would put a lot more than this, but this is just to save time. And you put them on the flaps of the lid. And make sure that you decide that since you've got this strip here, whether you want all of your things up or down, you don't want to do this, have one, you see it up, and then you go to the other side and it's upside down. So just be aware. And it doesn't matter if you put them all up or all down, but they should look more uniform by going the same way. Last one. Okay, so now we've got the side parts on. We've got the top done. You can decorate and put any extras you want on it. What I did was I took this from inside here where I punched it, and this was a Spellbinders oval, and I'm going to, let's see, get some of these little thingies finished poking out. Okay. And then just take and put some tape on this and stick that in the center. And I'm going to put them like this on the sides. I need to get this centered better. Okay. I think I'm going to use these pop dots. There we go. Get a pop dot on each end. One more to go. Now you don't have to decorate all four sides. You can decorate just one side if you like, the side that's going to be showing. But, okay. I just do it this way. That way, if it gets turned around, it's basically the same. Next one. Turn. Take it outside and get some clear coat spray in a spray can, and just spray this entire thing and let it dry, and that will keep it from the moisture from eating at it and leaving marks on it. Now you can put little diamonds and stuff. Let me see what I have here. Okay. I got a bag full of rhinestones and a bag full of pearls. I think I don't like pearls better. Okay, but what color? Let's see. Huh. Color. I'm just using my craft knife. See, it's just so much easier. You can get it right up under there, and then it's flat, and you can pull it right back out, and that gets those on there really quickly. Project for Christmas. And I'll be back soon with another one. So I hope you get to make yourself some nice tissue covers to brighten up your bathroom or your makeup desk or your vanity, whatever. Just, or even in a guest room. And you can just make it to match everything, and that way you never have to worry about picking out your tissues again. I used to have to worry because I would buy one that had to match the color of the room I was putting it in. And it was very hard, and even if it was the right color, I might not like the design. Now I just buy any old tissue like the one I like. I like the puffs, and Kleenex are not bad either. This will fit on either one of them. And I can just buy whatever they've got because I'm just going to come home and put this right down over it, and it'll be done. So I'll see you next time with another video. Oh, and I do have one on some the demo of the Fiskars Procision 12-inch bypass rotary trimmer that I received, and I love it. But you can watch that demo, and it'll show you a few more ideas that I'm going to do in the future. Hope you have a great day. See you soon. Bye.